Welcome to the daily Gerry Anderson podcast, which has been missing for a couple of days due to the presenter's recurring illness. There's nothing wrong with him, of course, merely part of standard wage negotiations, which he believes will sway the BBC when they realise what the mornings would be like under Coyle. Wall-to-wall treacle, sub-Hugo chat, and a fired-up time machine back to 1966.
Janet and I have been worried about you now for a number of weeks, but
For
that's
some
all.
time.
Yeah.
I see Janet nodding her head in agreement,
Yeah.
which seems to indicate that she is worried in some way.
Yes, we think you need some
Care and attention.
Yes.
I need a little love, I think.
Yes.
I don't know where I'll get it. It's very dear
yeah.
these days.
No,
it's
no,
very
I know.
expensive.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's just that I've got some kind of viral problem.
I know.
And
I
it
don't
won't
like to
go away. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's nearly away now, but every once in a while it comes back and to haunt me. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And
Yeah,
it's
yes.
okay. You know, I feel as if I'm letting you down.
You're pasty coloured. Janet says he's pasty this day.
Am I
He is.
pasty?
Yeah, you're pasty. But you haven't had any air in a couple of days, isn't that right?
I haven't seen air
No.
since last Thursday.
God,
No wonder I'm pasty.
Ah.
But apart from that, well, the
How's
girls
a
upstairs,
wee
they're worried
man
about me too. They think I'm
today?
getting...
How's a wee man today? How's a wee man today? Ah, come on up a granda's knee. Come on up a nurse. Come on, who wants a wee nurse from a granda?
Get away from me, you monster.
Hands up, who wants up a granda's knee?
Get away, you
How's a
monster.
wee
Get
man?
away.
It's nice to have you back.
Get away. Stop it. Coyle has interrupted has reached his anecdotage, given now to imagining how things might have been had he been more aware of what was going on around him at the time. The presenter feels this too, but unlike Interruptus, he does not care.
Do you know what? I was even ignored when you had the TV programme.
It hurt you a lot, I know.
I was ignored completely.
You were indeed. And it wasn't my idea, but I mentioned it to people that it should stop.
Do you know that I presented a programme here on Radio Foyle and it ended at 3 o'clock then, right? And then I went home and got something to eat and change and dashed up the road because I had to be up there. I was told be up there for rehearsal at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I went up there and I drove up like a madman and got to the studios. And every Friday when I went in, you guys all went on a tea break. And I used to sit in the studio waiting for you all to come back.
Why didn't you go and have tea with us?
Because you were all away.
But why didn't you ask someone where we'd went? Where we'd gone, you could have went there too. You could have had tea as well. You see, this is what's wrong with you. Don't use your initiative. And then what did you do in the TV? What did you do when the TV program was over?
I went home.
Why didn't you stay?
Because I'll tell you why. Because I thought
They don't want me.
you know what I mean. I thought it was a waste of money.
As far as I can see, you think everything's a waste of money.
No, I thought, what's the point?
You're going to be married. You're going to be buried in a plastic bag.
No, but you see, I was the sort of person that thought, well, look, I can just as easily go home. Why should I cost the taxpayer more money? I can go an hour and a half and I'm home.
Let me tell you.
And I went home.
No, it's not that at all. It's just the idea of actually giving someone money.
Sure,
to
the
let you sleep
BBC were
somewhere.
paying for it.
I know, but the idea.
And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't waste the money. I was a fool. I wish I had a chance now. I only wish that I had a chance now.
I always felt the same, you know.
No.
You know how valued I felt.
Yeah.
It was always important to me to give the people value for money. And I would never stay anywhere unless I thought the punters, the license player, were getting a good deal. And I'd been to hotels, 5-star hotels. I said, no, this is not for me. This is not for me. I'll tell you why. Because there are people out there listening and they can't afford to be in a hotel like this. And these are the type of people who pay the license fee. And I'm not going to stay here, I said. And I walked out with my bag and I slammed that door. I went into a B&B down the street. You've seen me doing that so many times.
Yeah.
Even though many of us imagine we have sprung from the loins of the Gael, in other words, Catholics, there are those amongst us, the presenter for one, whose origins are, shall we say, cloudy. Whether we like it or not, Ulster Scots blood pounds in the veins of most of us. Just listen to how weirdly we talk. Gentleman wants to know, are the following phrases interchangeable? Fitty read and bibbly read. Well, I think they are. Aren't they interchangeable?
Fitty read.
Yeah, and if you're fitty read,
read.
you're bibbly read.
Yeah.
Bibbly
No.
I'd bibbly read that.
No. You
I'd
were
be fit to read that.
No, you're bibbly. No,
if I could say
you're fit. You're sick.
If I would say I'd be fit to read that.
Fitty.
Or I could say I'd bibbly read that.
No, you wouldn't say I'd bibbly. You'd say you'd be fitty.
I'd be able to read that.
No, if you're sick, you say you'd be fitty.
Be fitty?
Fitty.
You'd be fit to read that?
Fitty read
You'd
that.
bibbly read that.
No.
People are wondering what kind of
No,
language
you would
we're
say,
speaking here.
you would say, are you able to read that? If I say it was dim light or something like that, I handed you something. I said, would you be able to read that? You know, if it was dim light. But
if the light was perfect and you handed you,
and you were sick, I would say,
would you be able to read that?
are you 50?
No, you wouldn't say.
No, I would say to you, if I came to visit you, and and you're lying in your bed,
Scratcher.
right?
Yes.
And I come in and I've got a book with me for you. I would say, there's a wee book, Gerry. Would you be fit to read it?
Or if it was Ulysses, says, would you be able to read it?
No, I wouldn't say you'd be able to read it. No, would you be fit to?
You wouldn't say that.
You would.
What are you, some kind of guy of the 19th century?
You would say you fit to.
Not me.
You would say you fit to.
Nobody would ever say that. I can't imagine. What are you, some kind of para-handy or something? But they need the me. Being the BBC, the programme reserves a special slot for ancient advertising campaigns. It's very popular.
Do you remember the wee advertising slogan that I memorised when I read on a bus? It was the number 6 bus from King's Heath into the Bullring.
Feed a frog the food you feel it needs.
And I sat and I read this every morning going into work. And I thought maybe today, if I remember it, because today, the day that's in it, I should recite it.
Go ahead.
Yon canny Highland crofters keep a breed of crease resisting sheep. They weave wee skirts and they weave wee slacks and they flog them to the Sassenachs. Wool keeps its crease, it's bound to please. You've nae seen sheep with baggy knees. At birth burns land the Gaelic rule. There's still no substitute for wool.
Johnson, Mooney and O'Brien has the best bread that you can rely on. Give me Johnson, Mooney and O'Brien for the best in family bread. The presenter has long been the enemy of people in call centres, spending their days ringing people who don't want to be rung and telling them about things in which they've expressed no interest. He's impatient with these people and often regrets it. He's like that himself. Do you ever get cold called at home? By people? Do you?
What? Is that so neat? Cold what? Cold? I don't know what you said. Cold cod. Cold cod.
Yes. Do you ever get cold called at home? No.
No.
Do you ever get cold called?
Cold called.
Have you heard that expression?
I take it that's someone just ringing you unannounced.
Yes.
I take it cold
Call, yeah.
Well, is that someone trying to sell you something?
Yes. Do you ever get cold calls at home? People just ringing you up and saying, listen, do you realise you can do this? Do you realise you can do that?
Mm-hmm. No.
Well, do you know? They mustn't have your number. I must send it to them.
Well, Janice says, yes, I do. No, people would ring looking for my wife or my daughter.
And what do? Do you say, here she comes?
No, I would say, once you hear that...
That's what I'm asking you. What do you do?
Oh, I say, no, they're not here.
Or do you do that? And then what do they say then?
Well, if they go on to start to... I say, no, they'll be in maybe in an hour's time if you want to give... I just cut them off. Say, they'll be in maybe in an hour's time if you want to ring back. Okay.
What do you say then?
Oh, I don't care.
What do they say then?
The phone goes down onto the cradle.
Do you hang up? Down the cradle? You put it in the cradle, do you?
I
put
don't,
the phone in the cradle?
I don't hang up. Like, no, slammy downy phony.
Well, it's an interesting slammy downy phony dilemma. Because,
there's a man on one, by the way.
See, the only reason that those people ring on a regular basis is because they depend on the decent nature of most human beings. See, most human beings will not be rude right away to someone. That's what they depend on. Mm-hmm. So if they ring up and say, oh, is your wife there? And you go, oh, well, I don't know. And they go, well, maybe perhaps I could talk to you, sir. And that kind of thing starts to happen. And then you say, well, what do you want? Oh, well, as a matter of fact, and then they start.
No, I don't go.
See, some people do that, and then they don't want to be rude. But I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed recently. They're starting to mess with our heads. For instance, now, when you get the cold call, I get mine at 6 o'clock every night. 6 o'clock, hello, and I just put the phone down like that. And then I go away.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm angry, I let them go. You see, and then they stop talking. And I'll say, listen, can you do something for me? And they say, what's that? Please don't ring this number again. And they put down the phone. And you know what happens then? They ring you again 15 minutes later. So in other words, if you're cheeky to them, they ring you back. Now, that's the opposite of what you would imagine. So there's a lesson there. Don't do anything because they'll ring you back because they're messing with your heads.
So maybe that's why I'm not receiving as many calls as you do.
Yeah, because
I'm nice to them.
Yeah, see, if they're cheeky, because they've nothing else to do, you see. I mean, they get a cheeky one, so I've got a cheeky one here. Let's keep ringing them. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.